As you'll see from this intimate, truly unplugged performance from Chester, he had a real connection with his fans. And he was vulnerable and completely open with how he felt. And also, this comes across a lot in how he performs. And it allows him to be much more free than I think a lot of people are on stage or in a group, even here. And I like to think that he would have enjoyed hearing about how people have pulled inspiration from his singing, from how he approaches his voice. And there's something extra special listening to Chester in these very raw and intimate settings, because you really get to see and hear what he's doing. So, enjoy this lesson, this voice lesson from Chester Bennington as we go into this unplugged version of The Messenger. If you'd like to take things further with your voice and figure out what it can really do, and you'd like to do so in a pressure-free way, click the link below and join my free course. And I'll help you unlock stuff without comparing or being afraid to fail.
When you feel you're alone, cut off from this cruel world, your instincts telling you to run. Listen to your heart, those angel voices.
So we're talking about being on the edge of our clean voice and summoning our distortion. And nobody does it better than Chester. Listen to this section again right here. He has this belty quality on some notes. Versus and then listen to the way he says angel voices on the word angel nonetheless.
Listen to your heart, those angel voices.
That's so intentional. And you can tell because he's bellish right afterward. It's not like he's burning out his voice. If he was, he wouldn't be able to go back into such a beautiful, angelic clean. You'll see more as we go on in his facial expression and how he changes the shape of his vocal tract to get into some of that grit. There's some major giveaways. So I'm going to hold off on doing any more analyzing until we get to that part.
They'll sing to you, yeah, they'll be your guide back home in life.
Back home! That's not back home! That's a very belted, bellish sound. So great.
Leaves us blind.
And then he closes up here.
Love keeps us kind.
Listen to that again. That's the giveaway.
Home in life leaves us blind.
So close leaves us blind. He just went from heart to mind. Such incredible dynamics. Believe it or not, this freedom in dynamics is what helps him get into that beautiful, sizzly, heated grit. Now, listen.
Life leaves us blind. Love.
You can see him sort of curl his lips right before he's anticipating this change, and then he elongates. And there is this sense, if we're really going to exaggerate it, there's this, I like to think about it as this dog bark moment. Watch again, and then I'll dog barkify it.
Love.
Okay? Not love. Thine. A husky big dog, right? You can see on he approaches the pitch. Love, 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 love. He's made it so seamless, and he's done it so many times that he's putting those two approaches together. If he was just going harder and harder on his chords, like I said earlier, he couldn't clean it up. Because of that posture and shape change, love, 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 love. See how I'm going in between the two postures and finding the right balance? He's already found it a million times. We can't find it right away, so we have to experiment. Start with both extremes, love, and then love, 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 love. You're going to get all sorts of interesting balances that you can use later. And listen to how it bleeds over onto keeps. We'll play the whole section without interruption. So great.
They'll sing to you, yeah, they'll be your guide back home in life.
Love that tone.
Leaves us blind.
Lips.
Love keeps us kind.
Yeah.
Keeps us kind.
How he turns his lips up there a little bit. Kind. To bring out that brighter sound. But you heard it again on, listen here.
Love keeps us kind.
Keeps us! Keeps us! Play with those balances. He's going to that dog bark again there. Keeps! Very, very sizzly, bright. Keeps us! That's more like the Somewhere I Belong sort of distortion. Keeps us kind.
Keeps us kind. It keeps us kind.
Man, I love hearing his voice in this context without any effects, without any doubling.
When you suffered enough and your spirit is breaking, you're growing desperate from the fight. Remember you're loved and you always will be. This melody will bring you right back home when life leaves us blind.
That slide. Blind. As he bares his teeth. Let's hear how he approaches this last part here.
Back home when life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind.
The contrast there is even greater, right? You can see him drop, open up his throat, and summon that. Love keeps us kind. All those different ways of approaching each note. Oh.
Home when life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind.
Cleans it up so well.
When life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind.
The consistency of the quality of his distortion is something I've always loved about his voice. And you even hear it here. It's broken up, but it's also very together and tight. Listen to that again.
Love keeps us kind.
The best sing screamer ever.
Oh, oh, oh.
Listen to some of those belts again. So that's the love. That's where he was just like gritting it up, that same note. But here it's clean, bellish, and belted. It's oh. So same notes, completely different approach. And you can tell that what he was doing before, the gritty, different place stuff, hasn't fried his chords, because you cannot belt bellishly like that if you have swollen your chords. You're going to get all sorts of unintentional breakup. Lesson 1 in this series of voice lessons from Chester Bennington: how to find the edge of your clean voice and work over into that sizzly, heated, tight-sounding distortion. Wonderful setting, wonderful performance. We miss you, Chester.